Hey, there she is. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Much. I haven't seen you since we started since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and so
Yeah,
I was there. I had a couple of questions for you because I know that in first of all, what did you think about what happened in Kansas?
little disappointed. I
Yeah,
think I expected a lot better from them, especially since they claim to be a conservative state. But
yeah,
yeah, just they're giving us a little more work to do.
okay, yeah. I was really surprised. I mean, the media was so happy; they were just jumping off they were so just all over the place, so excited.
Mhm.
Um, the thing that I wanted to ask you is what, how developed is a baby by the 120th day?
Mhm. The baby has a heartbeat. It starts its heartbeat at around 6 weeks. Before the woman even knows she's pregnant. That's why they have a 6 week abortion ban. Um, it's showing
Okay,
fingers and
okay.
toes. Yep, it's pretty
So
developed.
at 6 weeks, it has a heartbeat.
Yep,
Okay, just because the reason I say 120 days, do you know why I said 120 days?
that's when Islam permits abortion.
That's when
The spirit is blown in.
the angel comes and blows a horn and blows the spirit into, so it's not a human until 120 days,
Yep.
so you can abort it up to 120 days. But dude, that at 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 times 7, that's 42 days, huh?
Yep.
At 42 days, it has a heartbeat.
Mhm.
And what tell me, and what were you saying about the fingers and everything?
You can tell it's not like web anymore. They're like little fingers. You can see like the limbs, and it's starting to form the facial features. So yeah,
How
it's starting to look like a baby.
what when is this?
It's around 12, 9 to 12 weeks.
9 to 12 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so let me see how long that is. Sorry, I don't know math.
It's about a month, 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
Yep.
Okay, so that's still not 120 days. I mean, 120 days is like 4 months.
Yep.
Yeah, 30 times 30. Yeah, 100. It's like 4 months. So it already has features. It has fingers. It
Mhm.
has a heartbeat,
Mhm.
and they say it's not. I'd love to have a Muslim come on and explain to us uh, why does Muhammad say that it doesn't have a soul until 120 days when it has a heartbeat?
Mhm.
Does it? Can you see? Does it react to pain before
Um,
120 days?
it doesn't have sensory yet. The neurons in the brain usually form like towards the middle end of pregnancy. But it does move, like kind of swim. It can swim around, move around, especially towards like the beginning of the second semester when like the woman actually starts to show a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
So, is there any indication that it can feel like when they put that prod in, sometimes
Mhm.
and it goes like that, it doesn't do that. Uh,
There's there's videos. Well, obviously, I can tell like something's in there that's not supposed to be in there. For example, like first trimester abortions, they would go in and they would suck the amniotic fluid out, and then it would like it's that small that it's able to fit inside a small like the small catheter. It's very thin, um, but it looks like a human being. It doesn't just look like a newly conceived single cell. The cells duplicate, they multiply really, really fast.
yeah,
Because by the time the woman finds out she's pregnant, it's around 12 weeks, 3 months. And the baby's like, well, you do your first ultrasound. It's like, look, it looks like a baby. It looks like a little cute little bean. It doesn't look like a clump of cells.
and what about the DNA? It's a unique DNA, right?
Yeah,
Each
23
person.
chromosomes from the mom and 23 chromosomes from the father, making up 26 chromosomes. Or sometimes there can be an extra chromosome, which can cause Down syndrome. So,
Okay.
yep,
So, but this is unique DNA that nobody else in the world has.
yep,
So it is
completely unique.
it's a
Yep,
unique human being. From
yep,
the That's from the minute it comes those, yeah,
yep.
the
hmm
you
Yep,
know
all that DNA has its hair color, its eye color, the fingerprint, because everybody has uniquely different fingerprint. Out of the 7 billion people, there's not one, even fraternal twins, identical twins, they don't even have the same fingerprint. Completely different from anybody else in the world.
wow,
hmm
wow, that is amazing. That and I mean, I heard somebody. I think it was when you were with me last time, and we were listening to some lady on TV talking, and she's the one who said, as soon as it comes together, it's a human being.
Yeah,
You know,
different chromosomes.
the DNA. There's nobody else in the universe who's got that DNA. It's a unique person,
Yep.
and so boy, well, shoot. Yeah. What else? What else can you tell us about the baby before 120 days? I mean, can you tell us any particular features,
Um,
the developments that have happened at that point? By that point,
It's
that
very yeah,
four.
it's very early on during pregnancy. But one thing I can tell you, it doesn't look like a clump of cells. It's its own individual human being. Um, and yeah, it's gonna start as you move out of the first trimester. Then the baby is gonna start like learning how to swallow, learning what fingers are, how to grab. If you've seen videos like ultrasound videos in the second trimester, you can see them like gulping, like practicing to swallow, moving around, kicking. Towards the end of pregnancy, the baby would start to rotate to be head down, so it doesn't come out like be birth feet first, which is called breached. You don't. That's not good. During birth, that's very very dangerous to give birth to a breech baby. So you can towards the end of pregnancy, the baby's going to start rotating to be head down first. And it's all like amazing how it like God designed it that way. Automatically, it just knows, I'm about to come into the world. I got to start moving into positions so I don't injure my mother badly.
Wow.
Yep.
And I'm trying to find that hadith where uh, uh, um, okay, here it is. Here's the hadith, and so we can look at it together. Fired. Said, each one of you collected in the womb of his mother for 40 days and then turns into a clot for an equal period. So, is there a point where we turn into a clot?
If there is, I'm very concerned because my $500 textbooks of anatomy, physiology, biology, chemistry do not have that. So I would be very concerned if that's true.
Okay. Let me just say what it is in Arabic. Let's see. Mudra. Mudra. A mudra is like a chewed up flesh.
Mhm,
And so equal period for 40 days, and then turns into a piece of flesh for a similar 40 days. Okay,
mhm,
so this is 120 days now. Then Allah sends an angel and orders him to write four things: his provision, his age, and whether he will be wretched or blessed. Then, and this is the dangerous, then the soul is breathed into him.
mhm.
So he's not a person until that that uh, soul is breathed into him.
Yep.
So
It also tells you that the bone is first and then it's wrapped in flesh, which is also very unscientific and very
yeah,
funny.
well, you see, this is hadith, but
Mhm.
what you're saying is Quran.
Yep.
Yeah, what you're saying is Quran. Kasayna, uh, uh, just to show the bone with flesh. I think Surah Mu'minun, and it says, and we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump of flesh, and we made the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. You know, and here's in Arabic, المضغة العظم مضغة عظمة عظما فكسونا العظم لحما كسونا
Meat.
العظم لحما. We covered the bone with flesh. That's literally
They
what it says.
translate lahma. That's what they said as flesh.
Oh,
That's
oh,
meat. That's meat. Lahma.
meat, lahma, flesh. Yeah, it is. Well, you read Arabic, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you could have read that.
I heard lahma. I was like, that's not flesh. I was like, that's what we call food. Like when we
It
eat.
is. It is. It's what you say about meat. And in fact, the name of Bethlehem, Bethlehem, so in Arabic. So in Hebrew, it's Lechaim, which means bread, house of bread. But in Arabic, it's Bethlehem, house of meat. So, yeah. So, but it does. It says we cover. It literally says kasona for kasona. We cover the bones with flesh, and so two big embryology mistakes. In what do you are there any new developments in regard to the Roe v. Wade thing since you know?
Yeah, I think the pro-abortion crowd is trying to overturn the overturning, which is going to be very difficult to do. I heard Joe Biden's trying to pack the court, which of course is going to he's going to appoint more pro-abortion justices. Um, but we'll see what happens. Praying that doesn't happen. So we're multitasking. We're praying it doesn't be overturned, the overturning, and we're also like trying to push forward with it to work on like each state. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they
your state and my state are very difficult, Steve. They're very stubborn with abortion.
what? I'm sorry. Say that again.
Your state and my state are very difficult with abortion. Someone
What?
was asking, when does the baby start to breathe? If you want, I can answer that for
Okay,
John.
please do. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the womb, there's something called the placenta, which
Mhm.
delivers not only the food to the baby, but it also kind of works as like the circulatory system. So that brings the oxygen from the mother, from the placenta, and it goes through the umbilical cord and kind of just circulates that way. So that's how the blood gives oxygen, and that's how the baby is able to survive inside the womb and eat and grow and all that type of things. But when the baby first comes out, that's a big reason why, and it's in the amniotic fluid, the sac, which protects the baby as well, and the placenta. Once the baby comes out, it starts to cry. That's its first whiff of air, and that's when it starts to breathe on its own. That's why you see in like birth videos, the doctors have the suction cup to try to like clear the amniotic fluid, to get the baby to cry easier and to get them to, because it's a shock. You're going from your amniotic sac to not being able to breathe on your own. You're entering the world, and your lungs are developed, and it starts to work.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow,
the placenta does a lot of work for the mother and the baby, and while pregnancy, during pregnancy.
wow, wow. Thank you for that.